Hey, my name's Hagin Henderson. I'm from Redding, California, and about a week ago I had a vision. I had a vision of a tower and it was falling over, and as I had this vision, the Lord said to me, hierarchy. And so I was wondering, what does hierarchy mean? I started to look into it, like why is he saying hierarchy? And he started to show me it was religious hierarchy falling down. But he was showing me that it was connected to the Tower of Babel. And so I started looking into it, and I'd always looked at the Tower of Babel and thought, why is it such a big deal? Why is it such a big deal that these people unified became so powerful that God had to split them apart and shift the languages so that we would never be able to be that powerful again in that way? But as I read about the Tower of Babel again, I realized that whenever they went out to a desolate land and they found the bricks and they said, hey, why don't we just build a big tower? And they all agreed that it would be a good idea. The problem with it was, every other time something started to be built in the Old Testament, was because God spoke and said, you should build this. In this instance, they said, we should do this on our own. So it had nothing to do with God, and God never started this process to begin with. God was showing me that this is the way the church looks in a lot of ways right now. People are building ministries and doing things that were never started by the Spirit of the Lord to begin with. And they're building these things higher and higher and higher. And the problem is that you can become powerful when you're unified in something that's not God. And so they keep building these things. And the reality is that God is about to let them fall down, because it's our own arrogance as people that allows us to keep building and keep building and keep building. And the thing is that we put people in power that were never designated by the Lord to begin with. And we say, you're the leader, you're the apostle, you're the this, you're the that. And God's looking at it going, I never made you an apostle and I never made you a pastor. So we need to start listening to God on what we need to build, or it's just going to turn into a big tower that has to be knocked down right in front of everybody. And that's not a pretty sight. It's not fun. But God wants to show us now we need to go back. We need to return to listening to his voice and what he wants and the call of God on each of our lives before we have to fall down in front of everybody, because pride goes before the fall. And God wants to rid us of this pride so that we don't build things that he never intended for us to build.